The 1960s was a tremendous decade for many, many things. Think music, think cars, think people. Oh yeah, all from the 1960s. But let's start with cars here. Now, you could have been shaking all over with Johnny Kidd and the Pirates while driving this little 1960 Austin 7 from the same year as that song. Now, this one has been sitting unmolested for many, many years. Now, it could do with a little bit of hands-on work, but my suggestion would be not too much hands-on. But this is your entry-level car. This is your small, tiny car from the 1960s. And this may be what you'd have driven if you just passed your test and you were lucky enough to be able to afford one of these at a few £100 back then. Costs a little bit more now. This one, not been on the road since 1998, but wow, what condition. I love it. I love it exactly like this. Wipe the dust off. In fact, maybe you don't even wipe the dust off. Leave that on there. Get it mechanically safe and electrically sound. And what an utter stunning beauty. The 60s were brilliant. Innovation, absolute innovation. But you had other manufacturers who were throwing their money into making large cars or larger cars, family cars, much more cheaply, making them therefore much more available. So, Ford, the Ford Cortina. In 1965, you would not have needed to stand by the bus stop, song by the Hollies from 1965, do you get my meaning? You wouldn't have needed to have stood by the bus stop with this because you could fit the whole family and Fido, the trusty hound, in the back there, as well as loads of suitcases and the shopping for Fido to eat. Here we have a Ford Cortina Mark I. This is a 1500 estate. It is absolutely stunning, this vehicle. Where virtually nothing has been done to the Mini, lots has been done to this car. So this is on sale, £12,000 to £14,000. What a stonking piece of kit it is. But yes, this was your family car in 1965. A 1960s typical family car. I know that my family had one. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of people had these Mark I Cortinas. Beautiful, yet sometime in the 1970s, they all but disappeared. But then, of course, you may not have got around to having a family yet in the 1960s. That may have been something for the 1970s. So what about if you were, I don't know, just a couple or just a single person and you wanted to be out and about with a lovely set of wheels? Well, come this way because I've got the very car for you from the 1960s. So it's 1967 and you could be experiencing your very own interstellar overdrive. Pink Floyd, 1967, Piper at the Gates of Dawn album, with this MGB Roadster. Now, I'm hoping that it does have an overdrive because otherwise that last reference was pretty rubbish, wasn't it? Let's just have a little look. And is there? I can't see it. Oh, what a shame. Anyway, who cares? It's an MGB from 1967. It's a sporty little number and you could be trucking around town or rumbling around the countryside in this little piece. And what a great piece of 1960s engineering and design. So, MG managed to ditch the chassis with this car. So from the MGA with its polite road manners, we got the MGB. More power, a little more stylish, slightly more rakish, and either in roadster or hardtop form, a good looking car for its time. They're great, almost ubiquitous. They are gold card carrying members of the classic car world. But, okay, only got 2 seats. What about if you're a slightly more rakish business family man and need a sports saloon? Well, I've got the very car for you. Come this way. So dating from late 1967, certainly after the 1st of August 1967, is this beautiful Jaguar S-Type, complete with a Webasto type sunroof, beautifully presented here. We've got a lovely blue interior. I'm not sure whether this is the original colour, but it suits it well. I like it a lot. So, it might have been goodbye to the 2-seater, as we saw before, but it was definitely hello to this. Hello, goodbye. Well, the Beatles, late 1967. You saw that one coming, didn't you? So, here we have a great sports saloon towards the end of this style of car. So, this one is the Jaguar S-Type. It has the E-Type rear suspension mated up to the front end of what is basically a slightly warmed over Mark II Jaguar. I think they are gorgeous cars, and with that longer tail, I think they're great. They're in a way a better drive than the Mark IIs. I quite like the stubbiness of the Mark IIs, but as a sports saloon, an executive sports saloon, this has got to be on the money, really. Lots of wood inside there, lots of leather, beautiful XK engine, E-Type rear suspension. Even the kids sitting in the back wouldn't be car sick in that. Well, unless they're particularly green, you know the sort. Yeah, so we've gone through the 60s. We've gone from our entry-level car, the Mini, beautiful, compact, fit 4 people in, nice little second car, good entry-level car. We have the Ford Cortina Mark I, easy 4 to 5 seater, and it's an estate version, so we can get the dog in the back, lots of luggage and all that kind of thing. Family motoring on a budget. Then there's the MGB. The MGB, 2 seats, so somebody who's not yet ready to take up family life, or maybe doesn't want to have a family. Great car for them. In the 1960s, what a thing to get away in. Brilliant and beautiful, and you could hear them coming from a mile. But then, if you've gone all the way, got the family, but got a great job, pots in the bank, your Jaguar S-Type. Of course, you may just have a Jaguar S-Type because you'd pinched it and you were about to rob a bank. But that's another story. Goodbye to the 60s.